Hi guys, now that I've finally reviewed the new Mulan movie, the live action one, there are now 3 Disney Mulan movies. There are some Chinese ones, but I think there's quite a few, so I didn't bother including them in this. So today I'm going to rank the 3 Disney Mulan movies. Coming in at 3rd place, we have Mulan II. Now, you can tell from the quality of this that this is a direct-to-video sequel. They still got quite a few of the original cast members back. They didn't have Eddie Murphy as Mushu, and that's partially one of the reasons. Mushu in the first movie was this lovable comic relief character, and everyone loves Eddie Murphy. But in this, Eddie Murphy's gone, and they've changed up the character completely, and they've made him this very selfish character who only cares about himself. He wants to bring down others' happiness, which goes against what he stood for in the first movie. He just wants to destroy certain things just so he can benefit from it. It makes him quite unlikable, and he's one of a few characters that act completely different from the first movie. Another one is Shang. He had this very dangerous mission and he required 3 soldiers, so he brought his friends. We knew they were going to bring back Yao, Ling, and Qian Po, but for a mission like this, their past success has only been from luck and fluke, so it seems quite irresponsible to bring them along, and when he does, he gets annoyed that things mess up when he only has himself to blame. This storyline felt very weird compared to the first one. It was good that it was very different, but there were so many things where there were big lapses in logic. I know you can't expect that from an animated movie, but even so, just some decisions made, they're not really the smartest one. I could think of smarter ones which could have gone down, so that just tops up a really messy sequel, which deservedly was only direct to video. Coming in at 2nd place, we have Mulan 2020, the live action remake. First of all, if you want to see my full review on that, I'll leave a clickable card that will take you right to the video right up here. Now obviously live action Disney remakes have been criticised in the past for being too similar to the animated movie, or they do things which just feels too different. This movie does do different things, as it would be weird to have a talking dragon and cricket by your side. So they introduce more traditional storylines which are more traditional to the original story before Disney made a movie out of it. And one of those traditional storylines, they brought in a witch. I'm all for having another side villain, but just the way they use her, the way she develops throughout this movie, it's very strange and, to be honest, quite silly. Now, as I mentioned, this movie doesn't have Mushu or the cricket. I think it's called Cricky, I don't remember, but those were the characters in the first movie which made it not as serious. They had some life to it, so not having them here, this movie felt very bland, very generic. It didn't have much flavour to it. Fortunately, I found it hard to actually care about the characters. Now, coming in at 1st place, we have Mulan, the original animated movie. I still think this is one of the more underrated Disney animated movies. Everything they go for works. They have an engaging plot, one which is very straightforward yet very powerful with what they do with it. Especially they introduce some very likable characters. As I mentioned, Mushu, he is one of the characters which take away the seriousness sometimes when needed from this movie to bring some provided comic relief. He doesn't oversaturate it, he does just a nice amount, so it's not constantly serious, so that younger audiences have something to laugh about when needed to in this movie, as some things can be quite dark. I just loved how you could really feel the effort the soldiers went to become warriors, all their training. One thing I mentioned in my individual review of the new Mulan movies, they just kind of glanced over it, it didn't feel too powerful. In this you could really feel their struggle, even though at the end of the day they're just drawings on a screen. But for me, this was a no-brainer that Mulan comes in at number 1. So there is my ranking of the Mulan movies. Let me know in the comments what your ranking would be, and if you've seen some of the Chinese Mulan movies, feel free to throw them in as well. Quickly going to chuck up my scores for each movie on the screen so you can get an idea of how close they are in quality or if they're far away. In this case, it's quite an easy win for Mulan, the original Mulan, not 2020. But yeah, and at the end of the day, I found this list quite an easy one. Everything was fairly spread out in terms of quality. Tune in a few days and I'll have a ranking of all the Disney live action remakes. So I hope to see you there. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in that video.